everyone, welcome back to Let's Get Geeky. I'm your host Kayla, and today we're going to be talking about the differences between the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the comic, versus the Netflix show. Keep in mind, I am not going to point out any major plot spoilers. I wouldn't do that. I am going to compare how they are different at a glance. So don't worry if you haven't read the comic and want to, or if you haven't watched all of the show and are still working on it. I would recommend picking this up. This is the graphic novel, so this is comics 1 to 6. There are 2 other comics that have been released since this has come out, and you could probably pick that up at your local comic book store. Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is family, and the first thing I wanted to talk about in regards to family for Sabrina is that her mom is still alive in the comic book and we know more about her dad, versus the Netflix show where mom's dead and they keep straying away from mentioning dad. It's very cryptic and we don't really know what happened, and it leaves a lot of questions. Next up is Harvey's family. So in the comic book, Harvey's mom and dad are alive and there is no mention of him having a sibling. In the Netflix show, mom's not around, we see dad and we see his brother. I think that was done for some change of pace, and that's obviously very different from the comic. So Sabrina's friends in the Netflix show aren't actually her friends in the comic book. Rosalind is actually a girl she kind of competes with, and Rosalind tells her as soon as she meets her that, oh, don't you talk to Harvey Kinkle, that he's mine. So there's obviously tension there between them. Next up is the Weird Sisters. So the Weird Sisters in the Netflix show is a clique of girls who Sabrina butts heads with. And they seem kind of nasty and they've got kind of an agenda. Well, in the comic book, they're mentioned very briefly and a lot later on. And they're just a group of witches who can foretell prophecies and the future. So that's all they got. So in the comic book, Salem is Sabrina's familiar, but he can talk, and he can talk to everyone, and it's mentioned that he's being punished for looking at something or trying to summon something. So in all likelihood, he was a wizard who is now a cat who is a familiar to this witch. Whereas in the television show, he definitely doesn't look like a wizard and he doesn't talk. Other than that, there is a point that I wanted to mention that was based in the comic book, and I may have missed it in the television show, but there is an homage to Riverdale and the Archie comics in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It happens really, really early in the comics. It's something that, again, I don't think is mentioned in the television show, but Betty and Veronica make an appearance, and we haven't seen that in the show. That's about all I have. Let me know what you thought of this video. Hopefully there weren't any spoilers. I don't think anything was too shocking, we'll say. And let me know if you folks have been enjoying the show. I binge watched it. I'm probably gonna watch it again. I also watched the Christmas special, and I've been keeping up with the comics. I really love this series. It's something dark but interesting. You know what I mean? Take care, and we'll see you next time.